Hello, my historical fashion friends, and welcome to a special holiday episode. Today, I'm going to be making some ornaments for my holiday tree, which are made from scraps that I have left over from different projects. So this is something fun that you can do, that if you have a lot of scraps left over and you don't want them to go to waste, you can use them to make decorations. Let's get started. You will need scrap fabric, scissors, thread, chalk or a pencil, something to create the loops at the top of your ornaments, and templates. Or if you're really good at drawing, you can freehand it. And assorted cut up pieces of cabbage. So I am using just some super easy templates that I printed off from just Googling images of whatever I wanted and then cutting them out. So we've got a mitten and 2 stars. I've already cut this one out, which is a holiday tree. And we are going to be just doing some simple tracing and cutting things out. So I'm going to take this yellow fabric for my first star, and I'm going to just simply put 2 of these down and then trace with my chalk. And I am cutting out 2 so that I can sew them together and then fill them with some leftover scrap cabbage, almost like little pillows. All right. So I am going to actually pin this fabric and sew it before I cut it out, which is kind of an interesting approach. But since it's so kind of small, I don't want it to be wiggling around so much when I am trying to sew it. And let's just grab any thread you have. I don't need mine to match. If you want yours to match, that is also fine. I'm just going to thread this. So I'm just going to do a back stitch around the edge and then leave a little opening for me to put the stuffing through. I'm definitely doing this a little late and close to the end of the holiday. But this is also a fun and cheap gift you can make for your friends and family if you are wanting to make something homemade that doesn't take a ton of time and also doesn't break the bank. Because if you are a person who sews a lot, you probably have a lot of scraps left over and don't know what to do with them unless you are making a lot of padded undergarments for your historical costumes. I've definitely been saving all of my scraps in anticipation for making some bum rolls and other padded undergarments, but I had not gotten there quite as fast as I thought I would. And I am now becoming inundated with piles and piles of scrap pieces of fabric. If you're like me, you might think that using a really long piece of thread is going to save you time because you'll have to thread your needle less often. But I actually am learning that it takes more time because the threads like to get frequently tangled and then I have to spend a lot of time to untangle them. Not to be mistaken for Tangled, the Disney film. Once you've stitched mostly all the way around, you can then cut out your ornament and turn it inside out. All right, so let's hope this turns inside out. It's hard when they're so small. And then you can pull here and pull all the little star pieces out. I've decided not to turn this Christmas tree inside out because the little points didn't work out so great, but I like the way it looks like this, so I'm going to leave it like that. If you have a pencil or something, that can also help. If you want to get way into the corners and you don't have tiny baby fingers. If you do have tiny baby fingers, today's your lucky day. Here we have our star. And I'm using the same method here on the mitten. And it helps because if you can actually sew on the traced line, since you're going to turn it inside out, you know exactly where your stitches should go. And for this one, I'm going to actually be leaving the top open because it is a mitten. So we'll see what happens in just a minute. And for the mittens, you can see I turned it inside out and did a little stitch here to hold the seam down and prevent fraying, and attached this, which I will then attach the second one to. So all I did for the mittens was turn them inside out as well. And then, once they're turned inside out, I folded down the little top part and take my contrasting thread and we are just going to do almost a herringbone stitch, but not quite. And then this here. And once we get all the way around, our mitten is nearly complete. And just do a little knot. Cut it off, and we have our two mittens. So I am just going to attach this to here, and we will have our little ornament. If you want it to be a lot neater, you can also take an iron to them if that is extremely important to you. I'm just going to put this in and go through the loop to kind of make a secure knot on it, and then I'll just attach it there to the back. I don't know if anybody else had these mittens attached with a string when they were growing up. Like your mom didn't want you to lose your mittens, so it went through your coat. So when you, as a child, inevitably took off your mittens because you didn't need them and had a childlike ability to bear the freezing cold on your hands, they didn't just get left into the abyss. Trim, trim, and our little mittens are ready. So now we are going to take our cabbage and stuff our little star. Make a star pillow. Obviously I'm getting like SpongeBob nostalgia, thinking about Patrick Star, even though Patrick Star is not really related to the holiday season. I really only have like one type of joke, and it's just SpongeBob references. I am getting little green bits all over the star. And again, if you want, you can use your pencil for the assist. Whenever I'm making something that is pillow-like, it always astonishes me how much stuffing can actually fit inside. And just a little bit more. Unfortunately, my yellow star is now becoming a green star, so we'll see if we get the fuzzies off later. And now that I have smushed it full, I am going to close up my last little arm here. This is going to be basically like a little ladder that I'm going to do. Stick the knot on the inside. Ow. This needle is exceptionally sharp. This is the same kind of stitch I use when I am closing up pillows and such when I make them. And now that I'm getting to the very top, I'm going to add my little tie here, which is just going to go inside, and it will form a little loop. And I'm just going to fold these little edges in and put one on either side here. One here and one here. And I'm going to sew it in place. And I'm going to do a whip stitch to secure it in with these very raw edges. I'll probably end up using a little fray check on these. Here's our little star. Let's see if we can get some of this green off. I always find that using another piece of something's own fabric really helps to get rid of random stuff that ends up on your fabric. So that's a little tip if you get stuff stuck on your fabric. And here we have our little star. And if you have anything like buttons or beads, that's really fun to add to our tree ornaments. Sort of like ornamentception. There we go.
You still filming?
Yeah, and that one, big one, stopped recording at some point, so not sure when. Ta-da! I'll just do a couple of stitches on each one because this doesn't really need to hold any weight, it's just for looks. And I am not even going to cut the thread when I move on to the next bauble. I'm just going to go inside of the ornament layers and come out the other side. And I am just going to finish off with my stitching, and that is our third ornament complete. Ta-da! Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. I will be taking a week off, and then I will be back with some more awesome videos, and I really look forward to showing you some great footage that I will be filming on my trip to England. And please stay safe if you are traveling, and I will see you next time.